Hello, folks, and welcome back for some more Syberia. Um, Last time we had just finished off our trip to Philadelphia, where we young lawyer, young American lawyer, went to France to try and complete this sale of a famous automaton factory to a powerful toy lobby in the U.S. And well, it turns out that there's a mysterious heir to this factory who lives in desolate Siberia and who's a genius at making automatons. So we took a train with destination I'm not sure where. Uh, I know because I played the game before, but a character doesn't really know where she is. And that's where we're gonna pick it up from. Right.
No point weighing myself down. Where are we, Oscar?
At the halls of residence of Barockstadt University.
And do we really have to stop here?
The situation is incompatible with the pursuit of our journey.
What are you waiting for, then? Wind them up. Find a way. There must be some sort of train winding thing just laying around in this weirdo station.
I have seen nothing that fits that description, Kate Walker.
I guess we'd better find out, then.
I do not like this station. The atmospheric humidity is detrimental to my sophisticated wheel workings. I will wait for you inside the train.
Wimp.
Alright, I might as well talk to him a little.
And to think that when I first became a lawyer, I was worried I'd get stuck behind a desk.
Is something wrong, Kate Walker? Is the restaurant car service not to your liking? Would you like another pillow?
Don't worry, Oscar. Everything's just hunky-dory. And you are just hunky-dory, too.
Ooh. Making advances on the automaton.
Oscar, we have a serious problem. How can we carry on our journey if this train doesn't want to budge? What are our options?
Every clock has its key, Kate Walker. Keep looking.
Well, I hope you're right. I'm gonna go see what I can find. Oscar, there's no way you could help me find a way to wind the train back up again?
Rust awaits my every movement if I leave this train, Kate Walker. And what would you do with a rusty engine driver?
Not a lot, I suppose. Oscar, I think that Hans Vorarlberg once stayed in this town after he left Valladolid. Maybe this wasn't a chance stopover after all.
Nothing is left to chance in a railroad network.
You agree with me, then?
We have no concrete proof to support your hypothesis. The train stopped because the clockwork mechanism is unwound. That is the only concrete evidence we have, Kate Walker.
I was just hoping for a little imagination on your part, Oscar.
No, Kate Walker. I am only an automaton, Kate Walker.
I mean, he's not wrong, you know?
This train might be a wonder of technology, but the engine's limited autonomy is a liability. You got to admit that.
I am afraid I refuse to entertain this consideration, Kate Walker.
Oscar,
Right.
see you later, alligator.
In a while, Kate Walker.
I love that he knew the response, but he still said, in a while, Kate Walker. That was pretty great. Well, there's two sides to the train. Let's go to the side first, I think. Boy, those are some angry birds. Alright, exploring one thing at a time. Let's first go down this green path. That seems to be the case. Up we go, I guess. Ooh, middle platform. We can find it. So, once we leave Fogland, my memories of the game are a little more hazy. Like, I remember a thing here and there, but... Oh, we just got a giant hook, apparently. Talk to this fine fellow.
Hello.
You arrived by train, I see.
Yes, I've come from Valadilen.
It's been a long time since I've seen a train here. Students, did you bring students with you?
No, I traveled alone. Well, almost alone.
I remember around the start of fall, trains would bring kids from all around the world here to study zoology and botany, paleontology, and all that stuff. This was a great university.
And it isn't still great today, then?
Today? Well,
Have you been the station master of Barrelstadt for a long time?
I've never had another job. Now, you tell me, are you in charge of this train?
No, I mean, I'm not sure.
So what's your thing here? You come here to do some bookworming over at the university?
Well, sort of. I'm always looking for new information.
Well, you don't seem to know a lot. And about that train, it's gonna get in the way if you leave it there, that's for sure.
In fact, I'm a lawyer and I'm conducting a pretty unusual investigation.
Investigation, huh? I'm just a station master. I don't know too much about anything.
Well, you never know.
This
Anybody
guy
could be
sounds
significant to
suspicious.
See, nobody actually tells me anything, so my hands are totally clean.
I never implied they weren't. You don't know where I might find equipment to wind up my train springs, do you?
Not in this station, that's for sure. And I would know. You might want to try near the wall. So, thinking of staying for long, miss?
No. I mean, I don't know, actually. 1 or 2 days tops. You see, I've got to wind my train back up so that I can continue my journey.
It's just, if you stay here too long, I might get in trouble. The train should stop, then leave again. That's the rule. Besides, your machine's disturbing the birds.
Maybe you could take me up to this wall? If there were 2 of us, we could find what I need to wind up my train even quicker.
Miss, forgive me, I gotta stick by the rules. You know, I have to man the station. I don't want to get into trouble with my superiors at the university. You understand?
I feel like I've lost my way a little here. I could really do with your help.
Hey, anything I can do, miss, you just let me know.
The name Hans Vorarlberg doesn't mean anything to you by chance, does it?
Oh, do you really think I'd remember one little name from the thousands that pass through this station?
Yeah, you never know.
I'm sorry to junk up your station like this, but the spring mechanism on my train needs winding.
A spring-operated locomotive. There's a thing.
Yeah, and an impractical thing, too.
Yeah, I always dreamed of taking a train, but now I'm over the hill. And someone has to take care of the birds, after all.
All these birds in a station. It's amazing.
This is no ordinary station, miss. Oh, no. These birds are part of the prestigious University of Barrelstadt Ornithological Collection. Over the years, this aviary has housed some of the most fantastic species from all over the world. And I am not exactly your typical station master either. This little world is my responsibility. And
I'm no zoologist, but I
can
don't
well believe
think...
you.
And you know what's the hardest? The hardest thing is to keep interspecial harmony. One day some explorer introduced a couple of cuckoos from the Amazon. Whoa.
It wasn't a good idea?
That's a reference
Nightmare.
to
You know,
Benusakal's
cuckoos lay their
previous
eggs in
game,
the nests of
Amazon.
other species, right? Now, what's more, they also push the host's eggs out of the nest so that they receive all the mother's attention, right? Accursed cuckoos. Nightmare.
I see what you mean. That's one tricky bird. And there was nothing you could do to stop it?
The faculty declared the bird a protected species. If it wasn't for our mechanical eagle, we were sitting on a major ornithological catastrophe.
You have an automaton here?
A wonder of technology. It's an eagle that's mounted on rails in the air. It passes through and it swoops down to collect parasite eggs. But heck, the dang eagle's been out of order for several years. Impossible to collect the eggs myself.
Why not?
I can't climb up the gangway. I fell off it several months back, and I still have a pain in my spine. Not to mention the vertigo I've been getting. I only have to look up in the air. Whoa.
You poor soul. That must be very hard.
Worst thing is, cuckoo eggs piling up in the nests. Soon the rectors are gonna notice. There's trouble in store, big trouble. I'm worried. Yep, worried.
I won't disturb you any longer, Mr. Station Master.
Welcome to Barrockstadt, miss.
So yeah, that reference to Amazon, again, that's Benusakal's previous game. Benusakal, who is the creator of Syberia. That was cute. And also, I can mistake, I'm no zoological expert, but it kind of feels like having an aviary and a train station combined. It's a bad idea. Couldn't birds just exit from the bottom? Like, I don't know. But as you can see the mammoths in distance, you would understand why Hans Vorenberg would have picked this as one of his stops.
That thing looks like the winding machine I used in the Valladolid station. I've got to find a way of getting the train up here.
There's something else I can go back. Alright, I guess we're gonna go into the university proper now.
Kate Walker! Kate Walker! Come over here, please! I have something to say to you!
Okay, what's up?
Yes, Oscar, what is it?
A message has arrived for you.
A message?
You have been summoned to see the rectors. They are the highest authority at the university. They want to talk to you.
Talk to me?
Yes, to the person responsible for the train.
So, I'm in charge now, sure, okay. But why would these gentlemen want to see me at all?
They do not say why, just that it's very important.
Okay. Rectors are definitely at the university. But we're in a campfire, taking the long way around. Because ain't nobody the boss of us. So.
Hey there! On the boat!
Guten Tag, schöne Mademoiselle.
My
Schöne.
husband say, hello, young lady. You want to talk to us?
My name is Kate Walker, and I'm a lawyer. I'm in charge of this train. This situation is really very new to me.
Lawyer, good job. Earn lot money.
A lot? A lot? No, I wouldn't go that far. But I can't really complain, I guess. There's worse.
Lawyer always ask a lot money.
Can we change the subject, please? I really don't want to go down this road. Are you from Bergstadt?
Yet,
So you're like me. Birds just passing through. I'm stuck here because of my train.
Kleine Puskereisen mit uns, no?
What did he say?
train kaput. No luck for you.
I don't think that's what he said. I think he said that we were welcome to travel with them.
I have a little problem with my train. It's kind of broken. I've absolutely got to get it out of the station. Do you think you could tow it over to the wall with your barge?
Lock closed. Barge blocked.
But if the locks were open, would it be okay to tow my train then?
Por que no? More money for that werk.
Da is possible. My husband say we help you if you give money.
Right. And how much do you want?
Cinquante.
He want $150.
$150? I don't have that much.
No money, no barge.
Let me offer you 75.
Nay, $125.
Out of the question. $100 and not a dime more.
Correct. You have barge for $100.
Well,
now,
he
don't
had
move.
offered
I'll be back
50,
as quick as
but,
possible with the money.
you know.
You must really get to see the countryside. Do you know New York at all?
We no understand.
I'm looking for a funny little man who is supposed to live in Syberia. Can you imagine that? Syberia. I expect you've already been there.
Sie vragen kommen to Syberia?
Syberia, no. Too cold. Barge no break ice.
I hope my train isn't too big for your barge.
Tis okay. Motorboat erste Klasse.
My husband say correct. Powerful motor.
I mean, we're not exactly very far from the winding machine, are we? It's dumb, isn't it, all this effort to go a few yards?
Put train in barge? Nay, not possible.
Yeah, why am I trying to small talk these people? Come on.
Have you gone down to take a look around the station yet? It's amazing. You know, it's full of exotic birds.
Mee to Moigier? Ja. Ja, met plezier.
We no leave boat. Husband is land sick.
Again, I think the husband would have been
I'll
very
leave you to
happy
it.
to spend time with me.
I won't disturb you again.
But you know, it's fucking creepy. Anything on the other side? There's probably no, but how much? Getting the lay of the land this far.
That looks broken. I need a key.
Okay, this must be to open the barge. But this way. Nothing real on that side. Okay, time to visit the room. Yeah, tomorrow night we'll have more time to play through. Even more time than usually scheduled, I believe. So I hope to be able to finish this chapter. That would be my ideal goal, sort of like completing one section location of the game per week. But in 3 weeks or so, done with Syberia. Okay,
This thing's jammed.
another egg. Yay! Oh, cute. How cute.
Hello.
Hey, baby, you party? You sure looking mighty fine. Love those big round eyes.
Just who do you
Ugh.
think you are?
Hey, spunky. I'd like that in a lady. Okay, I'm hooked. Come on, Zol. I'll let you buy me that coffee.
I don't remember ever asking.
Hey, don't play hard to get. I know you like it big time.
Listen, kid. Go back home and play with your toy cars and forget you ever saw me.
Wow. I don't remember what's the... Gotta be a point. I just don't remember what it is. Alright, this is a lecture hall. These are very tall.
No point. It's locked.
Okay. All was worth a shot. What's in here? Ooh. Probably time to do some reading if I can find hotspots. No. Nothing here that I can. Here either. Maybe. There'd be something up top. Oh, upside down. The Illustrated Dictionary of Plants and Mushrooms. The Friends of the Barkshot University Natural Society, prefaced by Professor Cornelius Ponce. The Yangalacola. The Yangalacola is a mushroom without stem that has a chewy texture. It is a member of the polytope family and grows exclusively on the trunks of certain trees of the Amazonian jungle. While it is edible when young, the Yangalacola has a woody texture and insipid flavor and offers no great culinary appeal. Native Amazonian tribes, however, are very attached to the mushroom. Why they are so fond of the fungus has taken extensive scientific research to elucidate. Biologists have reached the conclusion that the Yangalacola contains a special substance that is unique to the mushroom. The substance significantly affects vision and enhances its acuteness enormously. Amazonian Indian hunters discovered this effect and started using it centuries ago. The Yangalacola is dried and ground to a powder and consumed before the hunt commences. Its effect is instantaneous, and the penetration of the hunter's vision, increases extraordinarily. The hunter is then able to aim and hit targets concealed behind thick undergrowth even over great distances. Right. Well, we did learn all about the Yangalacola. And I'm back here. Let's see what's in the middle.
Excuse me. Can I disturb you a second?
No.
You could be a little bit nicer about it.
Keep quiet. In case you haven't noticed, we're somewhere that requires silence and tranquility.
Ease. Pick up your butt. Amazon, Memories of an Expedition. Alexandre Valenbois. The red Amazon cuckoo, Cuculus russa. The subspecies of the common Cuculus canorus is endemic to in the Amazon forest and is one of the region's most brightly colored species. The male's plumage is a bright vermilion, while the female's is a little more russet and neutral, I think. Yeah. Red habitat and food. The red cuckoo inhabits the more isolated and denser areas of the Amazon forest. It's reliant on the thick upper foliage of the rainforest to live its lonely existence. The explorer may nevertheless have an excellent view of the bird when the animal ventures to lower branches in search of forest Sauvignon grapes. Wild vines provide the bird with a majority of its food. Cuckoo is particularly partial to its juicy fruit. The red cuckoo may sometimes gorge itself on this fruit to the point of drunkenness, rendering it an easy prey for any juggled predator. Eat and be eaten. That is the implacable law of nature. Reproduction. Like other species of cuckoo, the red Amazon cuckoo delegates the task of raising its young to other birds. This parasitic behavior enables the species to reproduce prolifically and with minimal effort. Female cuckoo scouts its territory on the lookout for nests under construction. She chooses the moment when its owners are absent to lay her eggs, generally in the afternoon. The hosts, meanwhile, will lay mainly in the morning. After laying an egg in her selected nest, the female will remove one of the host's eggs and destroy it or eat it later. Cuckoo's eggs generally hatches before the eggs of its adopted brothers and sisters. The cuckoo chick will instinctively edge the other eggs from the nest. The young cuckoo grows fast. Sometimes its foster parents will perch on the back of the hungry chick. Even if the cuckoo's egg is very different to the smaller host eggs, it nevertheless mimics the host egg in certain ways, not perfectly, but just enough to be accepted by most species. Well, you can see the little cuckoo and the bird perching on top of it. Jesus. The future. Red cuckoo's love of the grape could sadly prove fatal for the species in the medium term. European settlers who have tried to cultivate the grape on the Amazonian alluvial plains have decimated the Amazon red cuckoo population. Grape producers, to protect their harvest from what they would call inveterate looting, have declared all-out war on the bird. It is to be feared that the cuckoo will be on the losing side. Red cuckoo reproduces relatively well in captivity, and is one of the jewels in the crown of the Berkstadt University Ornithological Collection. However, scientists at the university have their own reservations about the species and its propensity to become practically invasive whenever conditions are favorable to it, to the detriment of other, rarer species. As the Berkstadt aviary have therefore undertaken a policy of birth control to attempt to balance out nature's imperfections in this artificial environment. The Forest Sauvignon grape. Today, it is very rare to find the Forest Sauvignon grape in the wild. The species has been decimated by a terrible equatorial phylloxera epidemic. However, in Europe, successful cultivation of the plants is the pride of the Berkstadt University Botany Collection, and has largely contributed to the survival of the species around. Alright. So a bird that likes to get drunk. Also, it was so hard to read the font they chose to use. What's over here? Oh. I think we found directors.
Good day to you, gentlemen.
Tell me, young lady, to what do we owe this pleasure?
Please do be brief. We do not have very much time on our hands.
As rectors of this university, we have serious matters to attend to, and our time is precious.
I have heard you wish to meet the owner of the train that is currently in your station. May I know the reason for your summons?
We are surprised that your train has not yet left, miss. The situation is most regrettable.
The rules do clearly state that trains are meant to come and go and not remain stationary at a platform.
Trains should first stop, then subsequently leave. That is the rule.
We agree then, dear colleagues, that what we're dealing with is deviant behavior.
This matter really is cause for concern.
It's a clockwork train, you see? So it needs winding up again. Unfortunately, there is no equipment in the station to do this.
A clockwork train? That's strange.
How very quaint. You mean it's some sort of mechanical toy?
You are causing a hindrance to us, miss.
I am very hopeful that I will find what I need along the wall.
The wall? Miss, that really is not a suitable place for you to go.
Especially for a young lady.
You see, miss, we freely admit that every day we praise the existence of that particular edifice. We owe the integrity of our dear university and the fine education it provides to the wall.
It protects us from harm and invasion from the unknown.
May God protect us from what is beyond those ramparts, miss. Please believe me.
I don't have any choice. I must continue my journey.
Do these
Such a
people
decision
believe
is
we're in
the
like the
correct one, since
30s
it's
or
in
something?
line with regulations.
Thus, your train will indeed be able to leave.
And consequently cease to obstruct our station.
Did I even introduce myself? I don't think so.
I haven't introduced myself. My name is Kate Walker.
Walker, haven't we already had a Miss Walker? Ethnology Masters, September 1953, if my memory serves me correctly.
Perfectly well, my dear colleague. But if I may be so bold, it was a Mr. Walker and not a Miss. It was Bill Walker, sat this June 68 exams. The impudent fool turned up for the oral assessment in jeans, flouting strict internal regulations which explicitly state the required uniform for the occasion.
Pure incitement. It was scandalous. Sadly, we have seen worse since. Young people lack all respect of traditional values.
Tradition, young lady. One must always uphold tradition.
You see, I didn't actually intend to stop here, but the springs of my train gave up, you see?
No, not really. You mean to say you're not a student?
You have arrived a little late in the term, miss. Enrollment for this year has already terminated.
But as rectors of this university and therefore representatives of its highest authority, we could bend the rules a little, if you like.
You don't understand. I'm a lawyer from New York, or rather Valladolid more precisely. My client wants to buy out an old mechanical toy factory, but its heir isn't actually dead and is living somewhere in Syberia. I've got to get to him to sign the sales contract. You see?
Not really. This is a most peculiar tale.
A kerfuffle of the highest order.
We have an excellent law school, if you should ever change your mind.
Can you possibly help me out here?
Miss, your insistence is almost verging on indecency.
We cannot
Wow.
constantly be at your disposal. We have many other requests to attend to.
If you don't mind, could you not disturb us all the time? Thank you.
Does the name Hans Vorarlberg mean
Oh,
anything
they
to
should
you
definitely
by
remember
chance?
him if you run by here.
Ah, one of the brightest, most idealistic intellects to have graced our university. Hans Vorarlberg. I remember speaking to him once. I was still a student at the time. He just stared at me, lost in thought for a while. He scarcely ever said a word. But how can one forget him?
Idealistic? I'll grant you that, but bright? Oh, don't go too far. He was completely incapable of passing any exams. All he ever did was to sit in on lessons, and not many of them either. Paleontology, mainly. He had an unhealthy passion for mammoths, which matched the state of his intellect perfectly. That is to say, prehistoric.
Prehistoric? How dare you? A little far-fetched, maybe. But he did have flashes of intellectual brilliance, comprehensible only to high-minded scholars who hold no score by appearances. My dear colleague, your hasty conclusions are somewhat cavalier.
My assessment is wholly accurate. The boy was a little odd. You must concur if my father, who was rector of the university at the time, had not shown great indulgence towards him. Hans Vorarlberg would have never attended this establishment.
What about the bandstand, then? Is that the work of a deranged mind? Even after all these years, you are still jealous of it.
My dear colleagues, I beseech you, let's show some decorum. We have a visitor. What do you want with Hans Vorarlberg, miss? Are you a member of his family?
No, not at all. I'm looking for him to clear up an inheritance matter. Is he still here?
What? Here? At the university? No, not at all. He left a long time ago. Yes, a very long time ago. The very year I was nominated to this position, in fact. Almost 50 years ago already.
The poor soul moved on once he learned all he needed to know about mammoths.
Ah, this establishment was never quite the same after his departure, it must be said.
You mean to say it was never as bad? All that oddball brought to this university was his misplaced fantasies.
Gentlemen, let's try to retain the calm and level-headedness that befits our position.
All right. So clearly, through them, a little bit stuffy academics. One of them, bit of a dick, but hey, that's life sometimes.
Excuse me.
Miss, we find ourselves terribly put out by the presence of your train in our station and by its recurrent immobility.
Indeed, the situation is very regrettable. Your huge locomotive is very cumbersome.
A train should first stop, then subsequently leave. That is the rule.
You wouldn't know if there is any Forest Sauvignon here in Barrackstadt, would you?
Absolutely.
When he says absolutely, he means, of course, absolutely none.
What we mean, of course, is that we are absolutely positive there is no Forest Sauvignon here in Barrackstadt.
Really? Are you sure? Because I read in a book that Barrackstadt possesses a number of plants. I wouldn't mind getting a hold of some if possible.
Out of the question, miss.
The assistant rector means to say that our priority is for you to remove your train from our station. Your research will have to wait until your next stop.
Yes, that's right. Your train must leave the station immediately, so please refrain from wasting our time in needless visitations.
Don't forget the regulations, miss. Don't forget them. Trains should first stop, then subsequently leave. And quickly.
Birds.
That idea of the station aviary is really very original.
It's the pride of our university. One of the specialties taught here is zoology, you see, and more particularly, ornithology. Proper study and instruction should not be limited to books. Observation of living matter is indissociable from theoretical questions.
It contains some very rare specimens that have been brought back from faraway, exotic countries, especially for our university, by the world's most intrepid explorers.
Do you remember Alexander Valenbois and his peculiar bird?
Absolutely. His gift produced some very embarrassing long-term consequences.
A poison chalice indeed. It must be said the situation could have been much worse, however.
Oh, yes, it could have been terribly problematic.
Some sailors have agreed to tow the train, but I don't have enough money to pay them. I was wondering if you could help me out. For a while. I could work for the money.
Please wait, miss. We have certain confibulations to attend to.
That is right. We must confibulate between ourselves. A collegiate decision must be taken.
I hope that we are not indisposing you in any way.
Why not?
If it helps us get rid of that train.
My word, that is a fine idea.
What do you have in mind, gentlemen?
When you arrived here, you must have noticed a splendid bandstand which honors the main university courtyard.
A unique piece of mechanical craftsmanship which no longer works, alas.
Why, yes, we have very moving memories of its melodies. We're prepared to offer you a financial reward if you can set it working again.
With pleasure. What do I have to do?
Unfortunately, my dear, time and rust have taken their toll on this university, and our automatons no longer have a spring in their step. You are going to have to be resourceful.
To tell you the truth, there are a number of complex mechanisms here in Barakstadt, and it would appear that we have unfortunately lost their operating instructions.
Your train, however, is an extremely ingenious invention, so you should be no stranger to complex mechanisms, should you? We are therefore counting on your ingenuity, miss.
I hope that I can show myself worthy of your faith in me, gentlemen.
Well, my dear colleagues, one more university matter nicely tied up.
Yep, that's
Here
about
we
it.
are, busy chatting, and look at the clock. It's tea time.
Already? My word, doesn't time fly by?
Thank you for a charming visit, miss.
And thank you, gentlemen.
Whew, that was a lot. So we have some sub-objectives, right? We need to kind of figure out. We have to repair the clock, which, as we've seen, will require finding one of those eggs. Other side. Only have about another 10, 15. Let's see how much else we can get done. I want to talk to you yet. Let's first see what's over here.
No point. It's locked.
Okay, let's talk to you then.
Excuse me. Sir, please, just a moment.
Yes, what is it? I'm not deaf, you know.
I am sorry to disturb you in your work, sir, but...
This young Mammothus primigenius is barely 40,000 years old. Fantastic, wouldn't you say, miss?
Yes. Probably.
What do you mean, probably?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, you don't know, I see. What can I do for you, my dear child?
Well, let me introduce myself first.
To tell you the truth, I don't know very much about mammoths, and I'm not here as a student. In fact, I'm a lawyer.
It's all right. Nobody is perfect. All the same, the study of the Pleistocene period is fascinating.
I'm sure it is, but I'm sorry to say my current mission is totally monopolizing my time. Another time, maybe.
Ah, that's what they all say. But anyway, let me present myself.
I'm Cornelius Ponce, Emeritus Professor and Lecturer at the University of Barrockstadt. I'm proud to say that I'm head of the Department of Paleozoology at our university.
Kate Walker. Pleased to meet you. It wasn't really my intention to stop off here, but I'll confess, this university is really very impressive.
Ah, indeed. There's such a tradition of learning here. So much knowledge, a real depth of culture, intelligence, and gray matter. I myself did my studies here and never left.
Actually, I'm here because I've been summoned by the rectors of the university.
Oh, I see. You must have made a mistake on your enrollment form.
Oh, no. I haven't come here to study. I have an important matter of inheritance to attend to. I have to find the heir.
And you hope you will find him here?
I'm not altogether sure. But you see, my train broke down coming into Barrockstadt Station.
In that case, my dear, you must come to one of my lectures. Here's a question for you. Do you know what the Proboscidean order is?
Assume it's the
Probo
elephant order of some sort?
Ah, you see? There are gaps in your knowledge that need refreshing.
I feel I've lost my way a little here. I could really do with your help.
Oh, my dear child, you've chosen your moment. I absolutely must finish off my lecture for this afternoon.
It's a lecture about mammoths?
Oh, yes and no. More specifically, it is about their migration. Do excuse me, I need to concentrate.
To tell you the truth, I'm looking for Mr. Hans Vorarlberg. He's the sole heir of a very unusual factory. My company is in charge of negotiations for the takeover of this factory. At last word, he was living in Syberia. So, as soon as my train is ready, I'll be continuing my journey eastwards.
Syberia. Ah, Syberia. But what was it you said again?
Said what?
You mentioned a name. The person you are looking for.
Vorarlberg. Hans Vorarlberg. Do you know him?
Hans Vorarlberg. How could I forget him? Such an extraordinary fellow. So inventive. We shared a passion for mammoths, you know, and we bonded over this passion. Without it, I confess, I would have had little to do with an odd, ageless retard like Hans.
Oof.
At the time, we were both students. Well, sort of. Put it this way. Hans had special permission to attend paleontology lectures. You see, he didn't really have the necessary qualifications.
Again, the scheme came out in different
odd
times.
jobs around the
Not fond
Your
of how to
Hans
use the R
Vorarlberg
word,
sounds
but
uncannily like the one I'm looking
that's
for.
how people talked
I'm
in the
not
late
sure,
90s,
my
early
dear.
aughts.
Hans was above all questions of money and business. Just to imagine him running a factory, perish the thought.
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
He was always a mystery to me. He never said very much, and never quite seemed to grasp what you said to him. He expressed himself instead through his incredible mechanical contraptions. His inventions, I admit, have been much appreciated by the university. The few times we really did talk, it was about his strange interest for mammoths and a doll. Some sort of doll that obsessed him.
A doll, you say?
Yes, he kept talking about it. One day he described it to me. A sort of children's toy. A miniature mammoth mounted by a mount. It appears he found it in a cave not far from his home. The event all sounds very dramatic. His account was slightly confused, but it awoke a great interest in me.
What do you mean?
To my knowledge, there was only one tribe who made figurines featuring a mouth, and that tribe is the Yukols. They live in the farthest reaches of Syberia, and for them, the dolls constituted a sacred object, illustrating one of their central legends. How such a doll made the journey from the frozen Siberian north to a cave in the French Alps is a mystery to me. Even today, it is beyond my comprehension.
Have you considered that Hans Vorarlberg was maybe making it up? You said yourself he didn't seem to have all his mental facilities intact.
No, that's impossible. Hans couldn't invent the story like that. The doll is a sacred part of the Syberia legend. He described it to me in exact detail. Syberia itself is a chimera that paleontologists of the world are very fond of pursuing.
And we finally have the game title appear in something.
Arriving in Bergstadt is an amazing experience. I've never seen such a station.
You came by train?
Yes, in a kind of clockwork train with a spring mechanism that winds down regularly.
You mean you drive a train? Young ladies of today never cease to amaze me.
Oh, no, I'm not the
What does
engineer.
that mean?
The train's engineer is actually an automaton. I am sorry, all this probably sounds very strange.
A clockwork train, driven by an automaton. I once knew a man long ago who could have invented such a train. It was he who designed the bandstand in the main square.
Yeah, we just talked about him.
That he
It's
was
him,
even
it's
capable
Hans.
of creating such a gadget. He was astounding, a true genius. But oddly, at the same time, he was also almost a child. It was as if his mental and physical evolution had definitively halted at the age of 10. Can you believe that?
Yes. I think I can believe that. At least I'm beginning to. My train stopped in a peculiar aviary. It's very odd. A lot of bird species seem to seek harbor there.
Ornithology is far from being my favorite subject, but I must concede that the station is the pride of the university. It was initially intended for teaching purposes, but then birds started arriving from all around the world. It seems that there are still rare species breeding there and flourishing.
Are there? Can you give me an example?
I have been told about a kind of bird with peculiar habits. Let's see now, the Amazon cuckoo. That's right. But, I'm so foolish. I can't remember what was so special about it. Just that its behavior is...
It's just, let me stop right there. We know everything about the Amazon cuckoo.
Where's the Amazon? What is the Amazon?
Cuckoo.
I'm sorry, my dear, but one cannot learn everything in a lifetime. Specialization is the key to real knowledge. Why don't you pay a visit to our library?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we did.
If I were to say Forest Sauvignon to you, what would you say?
Oh, let's see. Sauvignon. Sauvignon? I would say it's some kind of tropical shrub, don't you think?
He clearly
We are
does not
talking about the
indulge in
same
libations.
It is a very rare shrub with small, juicy fruits. I found a book about the Amazon, and it says that there are even Sauvignon plants growing right here in Bergstadt. You wouldn't know where, would you?
Amazon Sauvignon plants here? No. No, I don't think there are any. Highly implausible. But, you should ask the station master. He is keeper of the greenhouse at our university, so he could tell you more than me.
Oh, thanks very much.
Okay, we're making progress.
Professor, how do I say this? You see, I didn't think I'd need a lot of money when I set out. And it turns out I need money after all. It's a delicate matter, I know, but I was wondering if you could help me out.
My dear, it would be a pleasure. But you see, I barely have enough myself to cover my meager expenditure on what I'm paid by the university.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend or...
However, if we look at the example of Hans, it is true that our university always rewards people who perform some service for it. This is our dear rector's jurisdiction, however.
All right. So we
I'll
finished
leave
talking
you
to
in
him.
peace. I hope I haven't disturbed you too much.
Sorry? No, not at all, my dear child.
So in the last 5 minutes, where I have to go, let's go ahead and grab the doll again and bring it back to him. So we can woo him. Oh. Well, maybe not. Depends on how long this conversation.
Hello?
So, you got him then, this air?
Ah, it's you, Mr. Marson. Good day, and how are you, sir?
I'll feel a whole lot better when this whole business is over and the sales contract is signed. Where the hell are you?
I'm in Bergstadt.
What? What in God's name are you doing there?
It's a magnificent university town. It would appear Hans Vorarlberg once passed by here several years ago.
So if he isn't there anymore, then there's no point hanging around.
I hear what you're saying, sir, but I have good reason to believe that Hans Vorarlberg is still alive. For the time being, I'm trying to gather extra information from people who have known him.
What's your next destination?
I'm not exactly sure yet.
Doesn't sound like you know too much, Kate.
I just need a bit of time, Mr. Morrison.
Yeah, well, time is what you ain't got. Keep me posted.
Boy, our boss is still a real dick. Up. Down this way. Up this way. Let me grab the doll. This way. Through. I still wonder what's the deal with this guy. Okay. Oh, actually,
Professor.
What is it you...
sorry. I need to
Sorry?
this and
Do
that.
excuse me, Professor. Professor, sorry to disturb you again. Professor, I have brought you something that should be of interest to you. Look.
What have you got there, then? Let's see. An effigy of a mammoth. But this is Hans' doll, is it not? Yes, of course it is. How on earth did you... Oh, my God. It's in my hands. It exists. It really exists. Please do excuse me. I'm deeply, deeply moved.
You see? Your Hans and my Vorarlberg heir are one and the same.
This is incredible. After all these years, how can I ever thank you, my dear? Oh, I must waste no time. I'm off to my laboratory. I must study this carefully. May I borrow your treasure a moment?
Well, actually,
Don't worry, miss. I will take the greatest care of it. But I need to study it. You see, it has such importance to me that this very afternoon I shall deliver an impromptu lecture to my students about this very object. If you are interested in Hans Vorarlberg, then it is essential that you attend. Huh?
Do you think so?
Obviously. Give me your telephone number and I will call you the moment my lecture begins. I will return you your doll at the end. You have my word.
This is back in time with flip phones, so giving out phone numbers much easier. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I have to go, so this is probably a good time to stop. But just remember to talk to the station master next time as we start and explore this lab. Let me go ahead and make a quick save. So we'll be back tomorrow around I think 6-ish. Play for a while. Try to get through a little bit more of this game. Hopefully finish this whole section. So you can find me, as you can see, on the overlay at twitch.tv/gameswithnick or youtube.com/gameswithnick, where the VODs go live. I decided that now that I'm streaming more regularly, my VODs will go live the moment they're ready to come off of Twitch. So 2 weeks since I streamed them. The recent VODs can be found on Twitch. Older stuff is going up on YouTube as the days go by. So yeah, until next time, take care.